Exclamation, everybody, and welcome. Age of Grit. It is by IQ Soup, and it's in early access right now on Steam, currently $15 US. I, however, was sent a key by the devs, and so I am using it for free right now. And before we jump into the critique of the game, and I have several, I've played a little bit of it, and it's not often that, if you followed my channel for any length of time, it's not often that I actually accept developer keys. Even though devs will send them all the time, I usually don't, actually use them. I'll just buy the game outright. Mostly because a lot of times I just don't know what kind of state the game's going to be in when I take a look at it. And I feel better, like if I paid money for it, I feel better just kind of putting it aside and not covering it as a video. And like just kind of let it, give it some more time. Like if I come into a game and it's kind of buggy and it's just not working or whatever, I kind of just let it be and then come back to it later and a few months, and I don't feel too bad about it. But when I'm given a key, I kind of feel like I need to cover it in a reasonable amount of time. And thus it is with Age of Grit here. Well, the game is sort of advertising itself, in the email I received, it was advertising itself as a game like in the realm of like a CRPG, and like an old school Fallout / Star Traders were two 2D Fallout and Star Traders were two of the games that were mentioned by name in the email. And it doesn't even come close, either one of those. It's at best, this game is a visual novel, and there's a reason I don't generally cover visual novels, and that reason being that 90% of them are pretty terrible. A visual novel lives and dies by its story. It's basically, you're taking a game and you're stripping out the mechanics. The mechanics don't matter quite as much. They're there, but they don't matter so much as the story does. And, the story takes front and center. And if you've got a good story, it doesn't matter if you don't really have a lot of mechanics, because people are there for the story, right? The mechanics are just kind of a nice icing on the cake. But if you're trying to make a game that is story driven, which is something entirely different than a story that's just than a visual novel, I should say, you kind of have to have mechanics that are interesting and that make the game fun. Your game relies more on the mechanics than it does on the story. You can have a mediocre story but still have really good mechanics. This game really strikes out on all those levels. I think they're trying to push the story a bit, but the story is really nothing to write home about, and the mechanics are not particularly interesting or fun. And I could not even call this an RPG. There's nothing to it that really invokes RPG anything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to continue a game that I've already been playing for about an hour. And I'm doing that mostly because I'm saving you guys from the story. The game starts out with a lot of dialogue, and some of it's decent. None of it really fleshes anything out. And there is one particular thing when I came to this Frostshore camp for the first time. There's you get like a settlement screen, and in there you can kind of talk to people. And there was one person in particular that you talk to that's apparently your character just starts to fanboy on them, and it's to a cringy level. Like it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And the woman NPC that you're talking to is just like her responses are just like, yes, yeah, sure, yeah. And meantime, you've got paragraphs and paragraphs that your character is saying to her, like, oh, so is that the gun you used for this? And did you were the one that did this? And oh yeah, you fought this other person and you brought this one. And it's just like, you couldn't click through it fast enough to just get it done and over with. There was no like, can we please move on dialogue option. So I've saved you from a bunch of that stuff. Let's put it that way. The other thing is, when you first start out, you actually start out over here, and you're carrying a load of belt buckles, and you're told to take them to Ames Peak. And so you click on that and you say, set course and engage. And as you're going there, it triggers a few things, but then eventually you get here, you talk to the person you need to talk to, the job is complete, right? So here's the belt buckle. I delivered them to Maggie McKenna. Now you might think, oh, cool. All right, any game that starts out like that, when you come into town, it'll be like, all right, now that you're in town, and this game does it too. It has a tutorial that pops up and says, now that you're in town, you should talk to all the folks and they'll give you jobs to do. Nobody in Ames Peak gives you a job to do. I was like, well, okay, maybe I'm just meant to go to another camp. So I went over to here. Nobody gives you a job to do. Right? So it's like, okay, I guess I got to keep moving along. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? It's like the game is certainly not in any rush to do anything. And in the meantime, it's just kind of the combat, which we're going to definitely get into. I'm going to go to Fortpikmi. I went to the stronghold before, and it basically will die along this path here because it doesn't work trying to go there. But we'll go to Fortpikmi and see if we can see something there. You can see what our range is. So I selected that destination, so we'll say set course. Okay. I don't know why this is here if it doesn't do anything. So engage, and we'll start traveling, and then we'll get encounters along the way. So we've already gotten an encounter. Take us into the combat / non-combat screen. So as an outlaw, give us your ship and you can keep your lives. Alright, so he wants to fight. Now we're in combat. So we've got 165 health, and they've got 100. They've got 10 armor, 1 evasion. We've got 8 armor, maybe? Or 6, I think it's 8, and 2 evasion. So then you have to choose what you want to do. Now, we have this down here is our amount of steam that we've built up. So we've got 20 steam, and all these things take steam. Unfortunately, they all take a different amount of steam, and they don't tell you how much until you actually try to do it, which is hilarious. I think it says it here. It says plus per rank is 7, so I think that's telling you how much steam it's supposed to take. So the wave gun takes 7, the steam engine takes 5, the whiskey long gun takes 5, and it can tell you what kind of damage to do. They're all the damage are damage rolls, dice rolls, I should say. So 1d6 times 10. This one takes 20 steam per rank, which is fine. So what we want to do, usually, and this is pretty much how every battle goes, you pump some steam back into the engine, right? So that'll make your engine temp go up, but it'll also mean that you'll generate more steam next turn. Also, it'll pump up your evasion and stuff like that, which you really want to do to try to avoid getting hits. And then we'll throw a few into whiskey long gun, and yeah, you know what, you can go up to 3 ranks on the whiskey long gun, so 15 is as high as you can go. We'll just fire that. We'll say engage here. We took 6 damage, and they took 26, so we're on the winning side of that. Now, nothing has happened with our evasion. Sometimes you get a good evasion, sometimes we don't. I don't know. I don't understand that, how this exactly works, but I can keep pumping this up a little bit. So let's do our oak bark cannon, which has a tendency to just completely fail. So let's see what happens here. Yep, so our wave cannon is disabled, which we can only tell from over here. We can't tell it from here. Oak bark cannon has missed her mark. And so, yeah. Engine boiler temperature is critical, so fine. We can't do anything more with the steam engine. That's fine, but we've got 30 now. We're on fire, apparently. I guess. So let's do... So our wave cannon is disabled, so we'll just do this. So it's going to tell me I can't do anything with this, right? Yeah, it's disabled. Alright, fine. So we'll engage. Plus 6 accuracy we got. 24 damage, 5 damage for me. Alright. So then, what I can do is I can actually take some steam out of an area. I don't know if it's going to do anything if I take it out of there, but we got 45 now, so that gives us enough power to do some things with. Enemy gained additional accuracy. Okay, so that's a thing. That's still disabled. I don't know. I guess it's disabled for a certain number of turns. It didn't really tell me, did it? No, it just says it's disabled. So who knows? Can't do anything. I got all this steam and I got nothing that I can do with it. So pump that up as high as it'll go, and we'll use our other cannon and we'll engage. Our cannon backfired as it always seems to do, and gave us 5 damage. And we missed entirely. And this is the combat. This is how boring the combat is, because it's basically the same stuff. Like there's no real strategy involved here, right? It's just all dice rolls. Either you get the dice roll or you don't. You know, like it's completely RNG. And then as soon as you're done, so it'll prompt me to do repairs, just fine with the, you know, and whatever we salvaged here. We salvaged a radar module and a battleship rudder and some money, so we'll take all that. So I can repair the ship with one part, and I'll do that, and then immediately it starts moving again. So it's like I'll go right into another encounter. So it's like you're in a boss rush mode when you're just moving between areas. And there's no like, hey, I'd like to stop and maybe go back and upgrade my ship or something like that. Nope, nothing like that. You encounter a rather strange ship. Fortunately, they haven't seen you yet. Asher Levy Ward, in his raspy voice, what in heaven or hell? Tarnation, is that a core ship? Golly, looks like a light scout craft, a SC-12 if I ain't mistaken. Gosh, what's a core naval craft doing deep in Guild territory? Maybe she's stolen, boss? Could be bandits are running ops out of a stolen core ship. Maybe she's a diplomatic ship? Way out here? She's a diplomatic ship. She sure ain't following procedure. Diplomatic ships are required to broadcast as such. Her wave transponder is supposed to be pinging a diplomatic identifier. This ship ain't saying nothing. No diplomatic code? No, nothing. I ain't seen any signals at all. Can't even pick up basic nav radar. Ain't shown on any of our wave scopes. All our pings seem to pass right through her. Lasers, this ship is a damn ghost. Some kind of stealth ship, you reckon? Yeah, I suppose so. Oh, I didn't even go to full screen mode here. I apologize, friends. There we go. Yeah, I suppose so. Could have flown right on by without noticing a thing. Probably most ships would have. I only noticed her because I actually heard her engines rumbling over the reverbophone. You think they've seen us yet? Nah, I don't think so. No reaction from her yet. She's just sailing happily along in a straight line, and fairly slowly at that. I'm keeping my distance, Cabot Rockwell. Yeah, back us off a bit more if you can. Aye, Captain. Odd. Seems I was mistaken. They actually are broadcasting, just not in the horizontal. So they broadcasting vertically? Asher nods. They're firing off a very tight wave signal, quite high strength, but it's a concentrated beam directed straight down. Seems the ship's scanning the ground for something. What in tarnation could they be looking for way out here? Flinches as his headphones come alive with noise. Whoa, doggy. Ash. Just got a swarm of signals. Things went from quiet as a tick to, well, loud as hell. Damn. The ship? She talking? Not just her. Seems there's more than one core ship in the area. I got 5. No, make that 8. At least 8 wave signals. That scout must have spotted us and broke wave silence to call for help. Yes, sir. Now they're chattering back and forth like a bunch of monkeys in a banana shop. I'll make that 12 ships. I see them on our scopes now. They were well invisible to sensors until just now. Liable they had to switch off whatever stealth tech they was using when they started using comms. An entire fleet of core stealth ships mucking around deep in the guild? What in tarnation? Can you listen in on the chatter? No, sir, I can't listen in. Their comms are encrypted something fierce, like I've never heard before. But I'll start recording all the same. Maybe I can crack it later and figure out what the hell's going on. As if we survive, that ship is steaming right for our position. Damn. Yeah, I can confirm that, Captain. The other ships appear to be heading this way, too, though there's still a few clicks out. Damn, we're in thick dung now, boss. Seems we waltz right into quite the shindig. We're goners. What are your orders, Captain? Mulling it for a minute. Let's fight. Now we're talking. We don't have to brush with the entire fleet. We can quickly take out this closest scout that will be free to turn tail and make a run for it. Not a bad plan. Let's do it. Clara, full speed. Get us into firing range of that scout ship. Okay. Alright. So we'll do what we did before. And we'll get the wave cannon going and the whiskey long gun. Engage. Alright. So, wave cannon performed a sensor sweep. Oh, so the wave cannon is the thing that was giving me accuracy and evasion and armor piercing bonus. Not the steam engine. The steam engine was just to produce more steam, I guess. Okay, fine. Sure. We only took 4 damage, but we missed our mark. So, let's get our cannon going. This time around. Beam there. It'd be really nice if we hit something. That'd be really swell. There you go, 36 damage. The wave cannon going again. And that going. Wow, 108 damage. Jesus. Got a critical hit. Cool. We got more accuracy and stuff. So we'll do that cannon, which tends to backfire, so we'll see what happens here. Nope. Nope, that time it actually hit that time. We got another critical hit for 11 on that. Alright, so this damage. 15 damage. There we go. Let's sure, we'll do that. Hope for the best. Yep, whiskey long gun malfunction, but we hit him with the other one, looks like. It was just a malfunction, so it shouldn't be too bad. boilers up critical now. Do what we can. $29 damage. That did it. Core scout ship falls out of the sky. The remaining core fleet is still a few clicks away. We got him. Hot damn. Well done, crew. Better get us the hell out of here. Full speed. Hi, Captain Rockwell. That give us every bit of steam you can manage. We gotta outrun that fleet. They're right on our heels. No worries, Cap. Hellfire. Captain, that ain't all. I'm seeing a much larger ship. I reckon she's a warship, a core destroyer if I'm not mistaken. She's steaming towards us fast. Blazes, we're goners. Golly. Yes, sir, it's definitely a core destroyer. Now we're in Think Dung. Jump at grasshoppers, we're buzzard food. The destroyer, she deployed fighters. I'm hearing about a dozen small, fast-moving pings. Tardation, this old junker is slow as molasses. Those little fighters will catch us for sure. Wait. Now that's interesting. Fighters aren't pursuing us. Them seem to be flying circles around the destroyer. Tight formation. Fighters flying around the battleship? A flash of memory suddenly hits Rockwell. One he tucked away long ago. Ash, the fighters. You mean to say they're flying a protective orbit around the destroyer? A Barlow formation? Yeah, a protective orbit. I haven't seen that strategy used since 75, since the Battle of the Bog. Rockwell knows the truth deep in his bones. Huh? What's the big deal? A few fighters thrown in the mix. Not much to bat an eye at compared to the whole fleet trying to kill us. It's him, Ash. Rockwell feels sick to his stomach. He feels his head get fuzzy. Rage begins to boil his blood. Now, Rockwell. Don't be jumping to no conclusions. That could be anyone on that destroyer. It's not that rare of a strategy, and I'm sure plenty of Corps officers picked it up back in 75. Look at the damn scans, Asher. I know that maneuver anywhere. It's him. The fighters, the fleet formation, even the battleship's damn angle of attack. He's commanding that damn fleet. I know it. Jebediah, now you listen good. It's impossible. It can't be him. He's dead. You know better than anyone. Fire, bring us about and head straight for that damn destroyer. Full steam. What? Are you joshing? Just do it, Clara. The hell? Boss, what's going on? That's suicidal. Clara, just hold up a sec. Keep on our current course out of here. The hell you doing, Ash? You giving orders on my damn ship? Hey now, just calm down. You don't know for sure. I know, it's him. I know it. Hold up. Two. Admiral Fulton. Who? Fine, so it's Fulton. It's a core naval destroyer, Jeb, not to mention all them other ships. They'll swat us down like a bug. You won't as much scratch their hull. Ain't gonna do a gnat's worth of good. Lunch tea. In a reassuring, though still quite raspy voice, listen, blowing up your ship and her crew ain't helping nothing. If it's really him, we'll find him again. We'll get him some other way. Fine. You're right, Asher. Of course. Okay. Let's get the hell out of here. Clara, full throttle. Dive down to pick up a bit of speed. Keep us near the tree line. It'll make us harder to track. Aye, sir. Jebediah? Yeah, Ash. Their comms are all encrypted. Something ding awful. I don't know if I could break it, but I've recorded it all anyways. Maybe we somehow crack it later. Find out what's going on here. Item received encrypted recording. New job, decrypt the recording. Thank you, Ash. I know how important this is to you, what that bastard did. Let's just hope we survive first. The crew pushed the ship as hard as the mysterious core fleet pursues, inching closer and closer. Eventually, a few other ships appear on the wave scopes, likely distant merchant ships. The core fleet immediately breaks off their pursuit. retreating over the horizon. Yeehaw! We did it. I guess we aren't goners after all. Well done, Captain. Rockwell is silent. Was it really him? How could it be? Somehow Rockwell will need to decrypt that recording in order to suss out what is going on. Alright, there's victory. So you got a good idea of the quality of the writing, and it's not particularly high quality. Continue. You find an idyllic cottage in the woods. It's a peaceful setting. A small stream goes by, turning a water wheel. Things seem in good repair, but there's no one around. Investigates. Booby trap. You trigger a hidden trap, but a sizable charge of dynamite explodes. The crew receives some minor burns, but fortunately no one is seriously hurt. However, the ship was close to the blast. It received 150 hit points of damage. Great. Which is nearly all of our hit points. You come across a crashed ship. It's a small fighter airship. And keep flying. Refueled the ship for 23 bits. Alright. Enter the town. Fortpikmi. While a smaller guild guard outpost nevertheless secures a massive territory. For the most part, the surrounding region is desolate of any permanent settlements, making it a favored refuge for various outlaw groups. It's dangerous and lawless country out here. Fortpikmi's nigh impossible task is to keep a lid on those criminal elements and maintain some semblance of order. Alright, so there's people to talk to here. Julia Sharps. Well, howdy do there. Howdy, ma'am. Nice to meet you. I'm Julia Sharps. Rockwell. It's a very fine pleasure to meet you. You're a trapper? Yes, indeedy. Best in the West. How's the season? Well, I've had better. There's surely better hunting grounds, but the money's good here. I sell the meat to the fort. They always appreciate some proper meat. The ships come here pretty regular. It means I can sell off my furs without fuss. They buy them off me and take them back to the big city. Well, ma'am, I might be interested. You got some furs I could purchase? Fur pelts, high quality fur pelts. I had a few actually that I got off another ship I destroyed, so it would have been nice to sell them to her, I guess. But yeah, we can do some trading if we want to. Finally. A lot of things just cost so much money that you can't do anything in the very beginning. Here's our inventory, which is not to say anything. So I picked up various ship parts from that one that we destroyed. I have no idea where they've gone to. Oh, here it is. Oh, I didn't even know this was a button. I saw this here and I was like, what is this? What does this do? So effects, ship and cargo. Alright, I had no idea that was an actual button there. That explains why I couldn't find them earlier. Encrypted recording. Alright, so what do we have here? So we have light machine gun, a radar module. So does that plus per rank is 10, accuracy bonus per rank 6. So theoretically I can that on here. Okay. Battleship rudder. Well, we don't have one, so that's probably pretty good. Although this is another one. Max HP bonus. Wish I could compare these. This is Republic Battleship rudder. Oh, they're both the same. Okay. So, system wave cannon, light machine gun. So, can I just equip that? That just went into slot 1, which is probably not what I wanted. Plus per rank is 3. 2d4. So 2 to 8 damage per rank. What does this do? 2 to 12 damage? Yeah, that's definitely a better one. I don't have any other weapon slots though. Cannon though, 10 to 60 damage is, and it only does 1 rank. Reliability is 90. I beg to differ on that reliability there. This other cannon, other machine gun looks good on paper, but is really not all that great. 2d6 versus 2d4. Yeah. So, and we're only at 15 health because of that bomb that went off. So let's repair the ship now. 165. Whoops. Alright, that out of there. Moose. Hello there. Howdy. Moose. Okay, moose what? You know, like a moose. Yeah, okay, what about a moose? Like a damn moose in the woods. Me is the damn moose. You're a moose? Ain't no moose. I look like a moose to you. No, sir. You ain't look like a moose. I ain't a moo. I am a moose. Moose is me name. Oh, your name is Moose. Ain't that what I told you? Well, good to meet you, I suppose. My name's Rockwell. Rockwell? What kind of name is that? Well, good to meet you. Same to you, Mr. Moose. Just Moose. See you around, Mr. Rockwell. Yep. Guild soldier. Move along. Colonel Gable? Greetings, friend. What brings you and your ship to Fortpikmi? Looking for work. I see. Actually, there is a problem an airship captain such as yourself may be able to assist us with. Yeah. Fortpikmi is in absolute disarray. Not enough chow, not enough guns. They give us old ships and not enough mechanics to tend them. They do not provide near enough soldiers. We need at least double our current contingent. The men we do have are overworked and dragged out. Morale is rather low. Little 4 has been tasked with security for this entire region, yet the Guild Guard Council have given us little support. Damn guild, bunch of no good bureaucrats. Forgive me, a soldier should not bellyache. Don't worry, Colonel. I can surely relate. How can I help? We need bullets. We engage those wretched vulture ships on a near weekly basis. They use the mountains here as a refuge. We do what we can, but often we are outmatched and forced to retreat. After months of this, our ammunition stores are all but depleted. Rough going, partner. After no small amount of begging, I've convinced the bureaucrats over at Guild Guard Command to send us a shipment to replenish our ammunition stores. What, swell? As it would be, but the shipment has been delayed now for 6 weeks. It is stuck in Frost Shore Camp of all places. Frost Shore? How in tarnation did it end up there? It seems 2 military transports were supposed to rendezvous near Frost Shore Camp and exchange shipment, including our crate of ammunition. One of the ships was delayed and didn't show, so the other ship just unloaded the deliveries at Frost Shore and flew on their way. We, of course, we were not informed. I only recently was able to gather what happened and track down the shipment. Our shipment is still sitting in Frost Shore Camp, half buried in snow. Tarnation, damn sorry about your trouble, sir. I tried to get a military transport ship to go fetch them for us, but to no avail. At this point, I wonder if this is all intentional. It seems some in the guard are set on my failure here. Them scumbags. But I will not be beaten. It's time to take matters in their own hand. Damn right. We'll take your ship to Frost Shore and bring back our ammunition shipments. Yes, sir, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Excellent. Can I pay you cash? Our funds are quite limited, you see, but we do have a heavy machine gun we could spare. Perhaps you could sell it or use it on your ship. Without any ammo, we can't fire it anyways. Machine gun, that sounds interesting. An old B&C Gatling gun. She's a sturdy gun and blazing accurate. Sure, I'm sure our gunner will find a good spot for it on the outside of our hull. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate your assistance. Glad to do it. Seems like you need some help around here. Indeed we do. Fortunately, my wife Camille is here. She runs much of the business of the fort, especially while I'm away on patrols. Without her, I guess, I'd have given up by now. Are you a So, I mentioned earlier that the conversations go on way too long. Here's an example. Like, this should have been done by now. We should have been on our way, but instead we're like continuing to gobbledygook about stuff that doesn't seem to matter. Are you a married man? No, not anymore. Well, I greatly recommend it. Chuckles to himself. Wish you luck on your way to Frost Shore Camp. When you arrive, ask around. I'm sure one of the locals will know where that crate is. It's just like the game it drags and it drags and drags. And that's why I kind of say, like, this is not an RPG. It's at best a visual novel, and really not a particularly good one at that. Like, I don't care about any of the stuff going on. They're trying to introduce the characters. They're trying to get some character story in there, but there's no hook, right? Like, I'm not hooked by anything that's going on. I'm not really hooked by the story. They're trying to mystery box the story, you know, like, he's got a mysterious past, and this, you saw this enemy ship, and there's some, big bad on there that you thought you killed, but you didn't, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, none of it's really sticking. Like, it's just boring, right? There's no... like, everything's happened off camera, and now they're like, well, we got to kind of spread it out a little bit. We got to kind of make you want to get more information, but you don't really want to get any more information because there's no... the characters are not interesting, right? Like, I like me some, like, they mentioned Firefly in their marketing materials, and I liked Firefly, the TV show. I liked Serenity, the movie, like everything about it. Thing was, though, they started off by building characters like right away, right? The character building started almost immediately. And here it's like, we're going to stretch it out a little bit. We're going to keep stretching it. And it's not particularly anything interesting either, right? Like, it would be so much better if it was just like, here is something going on in the world right now, and you need to take care of it, right? And then as you're taking care of it, you sprinkle in some character stuff, right? Right now, there's no overarching task, right? The only kind of overarching task that they've kind of given you is like, decrypt this thing and find out if this person that you know nothing about, from a mysterious past you know nothing about, is still alive for some reason. Like, who cares? They're still alive, right? Like, apparently our main character cares that he's still alive, but, and maybe it has something to do with his family. Maybe this character, from what I'm gathering, like, killed his wife and daughter, right? But it's like, that's so... how could I put it? That's so well-trodden road that it's not even remotely interesting anymore. You know what I mean? It's like copying and pasting it from a novel somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's a trope at this point. It's so overused that it doesn't even stir any emotion or anything. And I kind of feel like that's most of the problem with the game right now. And honestly, I have no desire to continue going here. We only have like 4 minutes left anyway, which is longer than I really planned on going as it was. Can I get back to the main menu? Yep. Right now. So, what I would say as point of feedback for this game is you don't have a story that's interesting. You don't have mechanics that are interesting. So, if you're going to push for a story, if story is the thing that you want, you need to rewrite it. You need to go back to this drawing board and figure out what your story is, and stop copying and pasting it from old. Just find a different way of doing it. It's you got to break it up a little bit. Like, put some action in there, make it interesting. Right now it's like very slow and very mundane and very boring, right? Throw some stuff in there, like rearrange the stuff in your story so that there's some action up, front load some action, front load some tasks, make it interesting, make it compelling, make those tasks introduce more of the world, instead of lore dumping. Like, just give little bits of lore here and there, just enough to keep the overarching story going, but not so much that you're bogged down in it like we kind of are now. And I think, there's some of that dialogue just needs to be tightened up because it goes on for far too long. Anyone with half a brain can see where the dialogue is going. You could literally chop it down into half the size that it is, and you'd be fine. And then figure out what you want to be, because you're not an RPG. You're not a CRPG. You are not a 2D Fallout. You are not a Stellar Traders or whatever the game was. I forget the name. What else it was? Star Traders. You're not any of that. I hate to throw that out there. I hate to just be that blunt, but you're just not any of that right now, right? So if you're going to be, like I said, if story is going to be the thing that you want, make yourself a visual novel, put yourself in the visual novel category, and just be a visual novel. And do better than 90% of most visual novels, and get your story interesting and get it compelling, and do that. If you want to be a game like a CRPG or something like that, then put your story aside for a little bit and work on your mechanics, because the combat is terrible. The interface is mobile-itis throughout the interface. I don't know who would be playing something like this on their mobile device. Honestly, I would tell you straight up, like, forget about mobile. Like, this is not a game that someone is going to play while they're sitting on the can. I'm sorry, like, it's just not going to happen. Just get a decent interface. Do it for the PC. Do it for the Switch. Whatever you're going to do, whatever consoles you're going to do it on. Just get it working for that. Get rid of your mobile-itis that's throughout your interface here. Get a proper options menu. All that stuff. Like target the PC and do it right. And then if when you remake your UI, if the mechanics of the game do not fit a mobile game, so be it. Right? Like, I mean, they managed to make Stardew Valley work on mobile devices, and that was never intended to work on, right? Like, where there's a will, there's a way. But first and foremost, they made it for PC, right? And it works well in PC. And people on mobile will just forgive that it doesn't have ginormous buttons. You know what I mean? If it's a good game, like if it just works well. So just like pick a platform and stick to it. And get some actual like mechanics in there. Like, there's no strategy involved in that combat. Despite its appearances, you're just redoing the same thing over and over again. There's no, like, the customizations are interesting, but not, there's no customization there that has me playing a different way than what I'm already playing, right? It's not like a Path of Exile or a Diablo, like, where you have different builds that all play differently and require different skills and different strategies. This is all the same strategy. It's all homogenous. It's just, do you roll a 4-sided dice, you roll a 6-sided dice, and that's it, right? It's super RNG based, and that's again why I lump it as a visual novel, because that's the kind of thing that visual novels do, right? They roll a dice and you get a random, you either succeed or you fail, right? And there's no getting good at it, right? You're just stuck with whatever the RNG gods decide to stick you with. It's just the thing is, and this is what bothers me the most. Like, I had this on my wish list, so this was definitely something I looked at and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And everything about this game, when you're like marketing materials and stuff, it looks interesting. It's being marketed really well. Like, everything about it looks kind of interesting. It's just, as soon as you start to play it, you're like, what the hell am I doing? Why is this a thing? Right? It's like, the marketing, like, the premise is fantastic. It's got a good premise. It's got something that, I like to see, airship stuff and whatnot, but it fails at everything else. You know what I mean? And it's just like, for the love of all that's holy, go back to the drawing board. Like, if this were me, and this is going to be probably the harshest criticism I could give. And I apologize. I know that there's a lot of work, a lot of effort that goes into this, and I'm not saying that it's all for naught. Sometimes you have to go down a path to find out that was not a good path to go down. You know what I mean? You're always learning, regardless of whether you go down a wrong path or not. You're always learning. But if it were me, I would unrelease the game on Steam. I would take it out of early access. I would unrelease it and just go back to the drawing board and just figure out what you want to do with the game. Because as it stands right now, you're sending it out to die. If I'm to be completely honest, you're just sending it out there. You'll get a few sales. You'll get a whole lot of negative feedback, and it's just going to die on the vine, right? Because it's just not good. It just falls flat on its face, and no one's going to put up with what's in there. And it's just, it is what it is. So that's what I would say. And this is also why I hesitate always to take keys, because I took the key on this thinking this looked really good. Like, based on all the marketing material and everything, this looked like it was something that I would love and that I would enjoy. And boy, am I disappointed. Really, really, really and truly disappointed by what's here. Which is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But this, my friends, has been Age of Grit. It is by IQ Soup, and it's in early access right now on Steam, currently $15 US, and I am using a key that was provided for me by the dev for free. So thank you to the dev for giving me a key. I apologize for being super harsh, but sometimes you gotta employ some tough love. You know what I mean? Nothing that I say here should be misconstrued as being like time was wasted. No time here was wasted. This is, everything is, as I said, is a learning experience, and sometimes you got to take your licks in order to learn. You know what I mean? So anyway, as always, I will leave links down in the description so you can do your own due diligence. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.